What's good, everybody? This is Emerald Knight Leon back with another deck analysis, and what do you know, Death and Rebirth seems to be an ongoing theme right now, because today I'm talking about Ravemon. Now, originally, I was going to make a video back in EX4 about about my rendition of like a proto-Ravemon deck, since we hadn't gotten the support Ravemon needed at the time, but now with BT13 right around the corner, I thought, well, might as well just get this one full, show the full potential of Ravemon. Because as the ninja that Ravemon is, it does not like staying dead. At all. Starting things off for our Digi-Eggs, we are running 5 Digi-Eggs. Just because the last two sets, EX4 and BT13, gave us Digi-Eggs that specifically seem to work with this deck. First off, Pinamon from EX4. It has the on deletion of if deleted outside of battle, gain 1 memory. And then Kapurimon, on deletion by trashing 1 card from your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Moving into our level 3s though. For the majority of this deck, it is Birds and Avian, outside of one particular case. And there's a very good reason why I have Psychmon in this deck, and it is specifically to play around Royal Knights players. I don't like the fact that they can reduce their play costs, so I'm not going to let them with Psychmon. Since I'm not reducing play costs on my end, I don't really need to worry about myself. I just need to worry about them reducing their play cost. And with Psychmon, I can feel a little more at ease playing against a Royal Knight player. Otherwise, we are running Falcomons all day, every day. Starting with BT13 Falcomon, it has an on-play of one of your purple Digimon gains retaliation until the end of your opponent's turn. I personally feel this is a Falcomon that is mainly used to play after a Ravemon's death, depending on the Ravemon being played. Its on-deletion inheritable is if this card is deleted other than by battle, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. Very nice. Our other Falcomon from EX4, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Ravemon in its name or Bird or Avian in one of its traits, and 1 Keenan Crier among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then it's inheritable. If deleted outside of battle, your opponent trashes 1 card in their hand. Just fully crippling your opponent every step of the way. That is the ninja way. Moving on, for our level 4s, we are running 4 copies of BT13 Peckmon. It is a blocker. Its inheritable is on deletion. If this card was deleted outside of battle, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. Are you seeing that trend here? Because I am. Same thing also applies to EX4 Peckmon. With the same inheritable, but it's when digivolving. If you don't have Keenan Crier in play, you may play it from your hand without paying its cost. We have 6 copies of Keenan that we're running. Would you rather run 4 of each? Maybe. But honestly, you want to have room for a lot of other stuff, because this is Ravemon Burst Mode. Could you run this deck without Burst Mode? Probably, and you'd have more room for Keenan. But we are running the amount of Keenans we are because we kind of need it for Burst Digivolving. That goes without saying. Finally, for our level 4s, though, we are running 2 copies of Saberdramon. Saberdramon is a giant bird and thus a bird. It has an inheritable for retaliation, so if we need to, we can just attack our opponent with one of our Digimon, like Ravemon, or just have the retaliation if they try to go into us, which is the more preferable means of dying in this deck. For level 5s, we are running 8 level 5s, and they're both Cromon, or Yatagarasumon, I guess, in Japan. Our BT13 Cromon has, when attacking, if you have a Tamer in play, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Ravemon from your trash by paying its Digivolution cost. I believe this is a more late-game Cromon, given that you're going to have Ravemons in your trash later on in the game. On deletion, though, for an inheritable, if deleted outside of battle, you may play 1 level 4 or lower purple Digimon card from your trash without paying its cost. This is where I believe the Falcomon can come into play, because it just gives one of your other Digimon retaliation, or even itself. And then we have our EX4 Chromon where it's when attacking lets you, if you have a purple tamer in play, it may digivolve into Ravemon from your hand for its evolution cost. And then its inheritable is, if deleted outside of battle, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon, which is very nice. For our level 6s, it is nothing but Ravemon. We are running 3 copies of BT13 Ravemon. End of your turn, by deleting this Digimon that has a Digivolution card with Bird or Avian in one of its traits, at the end of your opponent's turn, you may play 1 Ravemon from your trash without paying the cost. Theoretically, you could play itself, I guess. On deletion, though, you may play 1 Falcomon or Keenan from your hand or trash without paying its cost, which is nice. Our other Ravemon from EX4, God, he has a lot of text. He has jamming right off the bat, which is great. End of attack, by deleting this Digimon that has a Digivolution card with Bird or Avian in one of its traits. At the end of your opponent's turn, play 1 Ravemon from your trash, paying the cost. So you delete this at the end of his attack, and then at the end of your opponent's next turn, you get Ravemon once more, who will then just swing in that turn for jamming. Mind you, you won't really get that end of attack effect again because he doesn't have a Bird or Avian Digivolution card anymore. But at that point, you do have jamming Ravemon. On deletion, though, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they trash 1 card in their hand, and then if your opponent has 7 or fewer cards in their hand, they add the top card of their security stack to their hand, which is very nice. Finally, though, we are running 3 copies of Burst Mode Ravemon. Now, Burst Digivolving, we can return a Keenan Crier in play to our hand, and then Digivolve for 0 on top of Ravemon. At the end of the turn, you Burst Digivolved, you trash the top card of this Digimon, basically bringing it back to Ravemon. When Digivolving, look at your opponent's hand and trash 1 card in it. Then, if your opponent has 7 or fewer cards in their hand, they add the top card of their security stack to their hand. So the ideal play is you actually, I would say, I don't know. It essentially just works like Ravemon's on deletion here, to an extent. Its when attacking effect is also interesting. By returning 1 Digimon card from your opponent's trash to the bottom of their deck, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the same name as the card returned by this effect. I feel like this is specifically going against decks like Geogreymon and also, what was his name? Karada with the Belphamon, I feel. I'm not sure. But I feel like this right here is it's interesting if your opponent is playing a lot of the same like named cards, which could work. For our option cards, however, we are only running 4, which for a purple deck is weird, but we are running 4 copies of Ame no Ohabari. Its effect is, by deleting one of your Digimon in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to. If one of your Digimon with Ravemon in its name was deleted by this effect, at the end of your opponent's turn, play 1 Ravemon from your trash without paying the cost. That is the answer to this Ravemon. Because once you play him again, he has no means of re-deleting himself to get his on deletion and then being able to play another Ravemon. So, after swinging with the jamming Ravemon again, you then use Ame no Ohabari to kill Ravemon in order to play another Ravemon. Works. Its security effect, though, is just to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level, which it's not the best, but it's not the worst, honestly, I guess. Moving on to Keenan, though. We'll start with the Memory Fixer Keenan from EX4. He is a Memory Fixer, and his effect is when one of your purple Digimon with Ravemon in its name or Bird or Avian in one of its traits is deleted. By suspending this tamer, draw 1. If that Digimon was deleted by an effect, gain 1 memory. We also have the 3-cost Keenan. On play, your opponent may trash 1 Tamer card or option card from their hand. If they didn't trash a card, gain 1 memory and draw 1. Opponent's turn, when a Digimon is played by an effect, such as end of turn Ravemon, suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. So, end of your opponent's turn, you play Ravemon, you suspend Keenan, you gain an extra memory, just further making it so that they can't, like, if they have effects that will gain them memory to try to prolong their turn, you make it a little harder for them, or you just end their turn. If they set you to 3, you go to 4 now. For cards you could tech in, I'm not honestly sure, to be honest here. Most of my picks would be option cards, just in case you don't want to run Amino Ahabari, but you want to run that. If you want to run other option cards, really. If you're foregoing burst mode, there are some other things you could run in order to facilitate just respawning Ravemon. Back for Revenge is a very good option for this, just because you get to play him again. Demonic Disaster, you just delete one of your Digimon to unsuspend jamming Ravemon to swing again for jamming. And then use his end of attack effect on that one. Calling from Darkness, just returning stuff to your hand. Mist Memory Boost for just draw 1, trash 2. Purple Memory Boost if you're just looking for more searching potential. Or Deathclaw just if you want to delete one of your opponent's level 4s. But this is a deck that I actually am excited for. And, tell me what you think about this. It's definitely an interesting deck. I'm not the biggest purple deck person, to be honest. Most of my time playing purple was Beelzemon, just because I was always a high risk, high reward kind of person. But definitely the 2 purple decks we have for this set that I am going to play, I am interested in. I have no intention of running Lucemon, honestly, because I don't have any more copies of him. And I don't really plan on paying like $20 to get a Chaos modes, honestly. But this purple deck, along with the Karada Belphemon deck, if I'm able to, I do want to play in this set. I hope you enjoyed this deck analysis. Tell me what you think about it. What would you change in this? I'm actually, honestly, really interested in hearing what other people would change about purple, because it is the color that I have the least amount of experience with, no matter despite how long I've played. But I will see you all in the next video. Peace.